Hello, sports fan, and welcome to the Packs for Breakfast All-Star Team. There you go. There's some people up there. There's some good people up there, especially center field and Kirby Puckett there, who was also a center fielder. Don't pay as much attention to Dykstra. We'll go over that in just a few seconds here. Because Dykstra, I remember Dykstra being a great player. And I don't know why exactly I remember him being a great player. I just thought maybe the effort that he gave was unbelievable. I mean, he had the nickname Nails, but he just seemed to be a real blue-collar guy, hard worker. And just, I guess I thought he was more of a thumper than he was. But Lenny Dykstra had a career .285 average. I mean, not bad. He only had 81 career home runs. That's it, 81. Remember, Barry Bonds hit 73 in one season. Lenny Dykstra's 12-year career, he got 81. He only had 404 RBIs, a total of 1,298 hits, but he did have 285 stolen bases. When he got on base, he was a pretty speedy guy. Played with the Mets from 85 to 89, and the team that we know him the most for is the Phillies, probably in 89 to 96. He did win a World Series with that 86 Mets team, which had Strawberry and I think Fernandez and Gooden. They were actually a really good team. Dykstra was a 3-time All-Star. He has a 42.4 career WAR. His best season was in 1993. 19 home runs, 66 RBIs, 305 batting average with 31 stolen bases. He did walk 129 times, which led to a .420 on-base percentage. It's weird how you look back at something with rose-colored glasses and really the numbers don't match the expectations that you have in your mind of what he should be. Now, he also had a lot of problems later on in life. We won't go deeply into those. We won't really even go into them. Not everybody's a saint. Those Mets teams that 86 Mets team seemed to breed problem children. Some of which have turned their lives around, some of which still struggle to this day. Which is sad, but you hope that they all get the help that they need and they all are able to turn their lives around. But now we're going to talk about the other two. We're going to talk about Kirby Puckett. Now, we're not going to talk about the typical stuff because you know about the .318 career batting average. You know about the 201 career home runs. You know that he was a 10-time All-Star. You know he was a 2-time World Series champion. You know he had 6 gold gloves. You already know he played his entire career with Minnesota, all 12 seasons. You know those numbers. You know he was voted into the Hall of Fame on the first ballot at 82%. You know that. But what about his postseason play? We don't talk about the postseason play very much, but Kirby Puckett in his postseason career, he was, where's that number? He was 16-8 in his postseason career. 16-8. He won all 4 postseason series he was in, both ALCSs, both World Series. Both ALCSs he won in 5 games, 4-1. Both World Series, they won him in 7 games. He won 4-3. That was each time. His postseason career was 24 games. He had 5 home runs, 16 RBIs, a .309 career batting average in the postseason. I mean, those are solid numbers. He was an incredible player in the regular season. Slightly worse batting average. He wasn't a big-time thumper, but the fact of the matter is, in 24 games he put up 5 home runs, and their teams always won. He played good defense. It was just, he was there to be great. And, Kirby Puckett, if you look at a guy like that, you don't think him to be really that speedy. You don't think of him to really be an exceptional player at his position. but he did play in the Griffey era and still got 6 Gold Gloves, even when Griffey was winning 10 of these things. So, I mean, that tells you how good Puckett was. But in the postseason, he was definitely no slouch. Definitely very deserving of his Hall of Fame. Of course, we lost Kirby Puckett, I think, in 2006 at the age of 45. Way too young for such a brilliant player and a good guy. So, rest in peace, Kirby. It's like, I just wanted to remember some different stats of his, put his postseasons up there. He is a 2-time World Series champion. And it's just funny to see that his ALCSs and his World Series were exactly the same. 4-1, 4-1, 4-3, 4-3. Now let's go to Griffey. Once again, Griffey, we know his regular season numbers. You already know he hit 630 career home runs, which is 6th all time. You already know he had 2,781 hits. You already know he had 1,836 career RBIs, which is 17th all time. He was pretty good on the base paths at 184. You know that he played most of his career in Seattle, 89 to 99, finished it out in 99 or in 09 and 2010. He did also make a stop with the White Sox, which almost everybody stops to visit the White Sox in their career if they're going to move teams. You're talking he was a Hall of Famer. We already know. He's a Hall of Famer. 2016, he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. And this is what makes me want to punch the Hall of Famers or Hall of Fame voters in the mouth. 99.3. That is unanimous. You cannot, under any circumstance, say he never got popped. He was never even really that suspected for being a steroid guy in the steroid era. He had one of the sweetest swings of all time. 13-time All-Star. He was an AL MVP in 1997. 4-time AL home run leader, 94, 97 to 99. But let's look at his postseason numbers. Maybe this is where the one voter kind of dinged him a little bit. He played 20 games in the postseason. He had 6 home runs and 11 RBIs, batted .290, a little bit better than his .284 career average, and he did have 5 stolen bases. He played one of those seasons, I think, with the White Sox at the end of his career. One of those series. They lost it in 3 games to Tampa Bay. Now, it was a 4-game series, or they lost it in 4 games, 4-game series. He only played 3 of those games. He did not play game 2, which was a loss to Tampa Bay, but he did not play. He was very much at the end of his career in 2008. He retired in 2010, so he was very much at the end of his career, so they probably thought they could do better by putting in somebody else. But he was only 7-11 in his postseason career. For one of the all-time greats, and he was on some pretty good Mariners teams. I mean, he really was. I think he might have even been part of that team that won like 113 or 115 games. For such an amazing player who played 22 years in the MLB, he lost every series he was in. He never won a series. Or no, he might have been 1-3. He might have won an AL. I'm trying to remember how this went. He may have been 1-3 in series or 0-3 in series or 0-4. I can't remember. But he didn't have a lot of postseason success, which is sad for such a great player, because great players like that need World Series rings. Dykstra has a World Series ring. Puckett has a World Series ring. That guy in the middle needed a World Series ring too. And that's All-Star for now.